Amazing.
And welcome to episode 224 of the most must-see award-winning show to ever hit the Bedford TV airwaves, or any airwaves for that matter, north, south, east, west, backwards, frontwards, sideways, diagonally, any which way you look at it, all around the world. The Wrestling Connection. I am your host, your connection to the wrestling world, the pontiff, the pro wrestling populace, the savant god of the squared circle, the fedorable felon, the perfect Ken, Mr. Ken Hill, delivering all the news to you in professional wrestling today. And alongside me, as always,
the consumer wrestling knowledge, the prize fighter of the Wrestling Connection, the legacy of Team Kaufman, the dragon with the smaller gold, the multi-titled lesser title holder, and of course the breaker of Kens, Dan Kaufman is here as well. And apparently we got ransacked by some industrial equipment.
Oh my goodness, it's everywhere. We got a pile up in the middle lane right here.
I'm worried what's in between these two chairs. It's almost like there was some kind of musical apparatus with chairs. All right,
but no, it's not like a pile up on I-90. It's of course our first week feature of Extreme Rules, and of course accompanying us in the out of control roof. The roof is on fire.
The out of control boom roof.
The boom roof.
Can you even see me?
Yeah,
we can see your silhouette.
We can see the shadow. You're like the dealer on Deal or No Deal.
She's the shadow queen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fix that.
All right.
Okay.
Miss Julie
anyway,
Manoogian.
The lovely Miss Julie Manoogian. Manoogian. Ooh. Ooh. Manoogian.
That was good.
Joining us today, Nick and Greg. Sadly, unfortunately,
they were too embarrassed about their loss at Money in the Bank.
It's terrible. Just positively terrible. They couldn't be here today. But anyway, one cannot, as I said last week, one cannot grieve forever. Of course, like I said, today is our first feature on the road to WWE's Extreme Rules. Even though you could say nowadays in WWE's PC era that one could hardly consider anything in WWE even remotely extreme.
They're more like Extreme Rules.
Extreme. But we're going to give it the old college try. All right. So, but before we go into that, this week we have, of course, his highs
and Dan's downers.
All right.
But to be perfectly honest, we had a pretty good high for us.
Oh, we had an excellent high, and we're going to kick it off with some fun we had this past weekend. We went to lovely Melrose, Massachusetts, where we sat down in a humidity-filled, late night of excitement and strobe lights and wrestling and all that good stuff.
For us, it was almost as if wrestling had evolved.
Yes, we went to the latest Evolve event, Evolve 107. We'd like to thank everyone at Evolve and WWN for having us, the World Wrestling Network, of course, having us there. We had a fantastic time. Really enjoyed ourselves.
Absolutely.
Stem to stern, a great night overall, especially for yours truly. Got the hand up some of the Wrestling Connection.
We got connections out there. We got some feelers.
We got some connections, some feelers out there. We took care of some business.
And at the same time, we got to see some amazing matches. You know, Matt Riddle and AR Fox was great.
We saw Walter.
The main event.
I saw this is actually the dark main event because they never telecast this on the pay-per-view. This is actually a dark main event. Walter going up against WWE's own, NXT's own, actually, North American champion Adam Cole.
Baby. ...
Baby.
Wow. For the record, the moment he does that, you can't hear anything else.
No, you cannot. And when you see a man like Walter, you can understand why he only has one name, because he only needs one name. Walter.
Volta.
All caps, all business. All right. So, like I said, we had a fantastic time. I mean, it's been forever since I've been out to a wrestling event. I had a great time.
This was my third.
This is his third. He and me, and of course, the queen of pay-per-view, Allison, accompanying us on a night of merriment. Had a fantastic time.
Absolutely.
Can't say enough about it.
And, of course, the guys are super humble.
No, they're a delight to meet. Everyone was nice. Everyone was really personable. Really,
you even got a Walter shirt from Walter.
I got a Walter. I feel so bad. I forgot to bring on. I will bring in next week. It was a great shirt. I had no problem parading it around during the match. But yeah, I will bring in next week to show everyone. Great time had by me, by Dan, by everyone.
I'll add a downer though. There was one downer because this was right next to a fire station, and the fire alarm went off twice. One of which happened at the very beginning of the show, and did not stop for a good 15 minutes. It felt like, and they can only Adam Cole versus Walter, or Hills Highs.
Hills Highs. It's the big German-looking man. You really can't miss him.
Yes, the one with two guys.
There you go.
Yeah, Adam Cole versus Walter. So yeah, the fire alarm went off, and it happened twice. One during the beginning of the show, and one
during one of the mid-card matches. And I mean, the crowd were good sports about it.
For a while.
I mean, you actually did manage to get a high out of it. We got a burn it down chant and
the roof.
And thankfully, Rollins was more amused by it than anything, and not demanding royalties.
Oof.
Okay.
And of course, during a grudge match with a musician and a half skeleton. And what was the chant that happened? Use your magic.
And we actually congratulated the magician later because the alarm stopped, and we thought it must be magic.
Absolutely.
Magic.
So, my downer was the fact that the fire alarm got a bit excessive. But you know what? That's a very small complainer.
They played along with it. They were good sports about it. So I mean, we can't rag on the show too much about it, so much as we rag on the people who put the...
I can tell you one thing. Another high for you. You got to see a top rope sit-out dominator.
That was a fantastic...
That was a magician's move.
Yeah, that was a magician's move that he even appropriately called the... I mean, do you remember the magician?
It was like... I forget. Well, the name of the magician is like Zakem 123, I think was?
Zakem... Zakem 3... well, he's named after...
We have the cards.
We had the match cards. Our man, this old gray memory ain't what it used to be. Ain't what it used to be.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, we're gonna talk. We'll elaborate more on the Evolve event next week.
All right.
But all in all, I mean, it was a great. We had a great time.
Absolutely.
Fire alarm didn't take too much away from it, so no biggie there. All right. My other high from earlier this week was WWE's fantastic second annual United Kingdom tournament. I mean,
second verse, same as the first, but almost better.
Almost better. I mean, it was just as good. It was just as good. I mean, okay. So we had United Kingdom tournament, Hills Highs. Nope. Other Hills Highs. Nope.
No, that was the other one.
There you go. There you go. Okay. I mean, okay, so
was that Travis Banks and Zach Gibson?
Yep, the Kiwi buzzsaw Travis Banks going up against
Zach had a great showing.
Well, yeah, Liverpool's number one, who ended up being number one in the entire tournament. These two along, you had a slew of names. You had some veterans in there, including Gentleman Jack Gallagher, Drew Gulak, You had some interesting names we hadn't seen before. We saw a man who's known as the Mod Father. Basically, he looked like something out of an Austin Powers movie. Like basically, he had the Union Jack flag on his suit. Like I mean, he had the big round specs. Actually, no, he looked like something out of an Elton John concert.
I agree with that one.
But no, I mean, no. Yeah, you had some funny names. You had some big names. And you had someone like Gibson who tore through. He had this armbar submission known as the Shankly Gates, and just he dominated.
Absolutely.
And then he goes up against Pete Dunne the second night of their UK tour, and comes so close so many times.
There's a reason Pete Dunne's still the champ.
Yeah, dethroning Pete Dunne, but Dunne proved ever resilient, came out on top. Of course, you had some fantastic matches that weren't part of the tournament. You had a great 6-man tag team match between the NXT's The Undisputed Era and the reunited British Strong Style. Now, if you haven't seen these guys before, look them up. You got Pete Dunne, you got Tyler Bate, you got Trent Seven, who ironically is Tyler Bate's original trainer. Believe it or not.
Did not know that.
And they end up forming a tag team
as well as a trio
called Mustache Mountain.
The new NXT Tag Team Champs, by the way.
The new NXT Tag Team Champions, because when they beat the Undisputed Era in the 6-man tag team match, they earned a tag team title opportunity the next night and capitalized on it. Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, new tag team champions. So a fantastic couple of nights in the UK. Not to mention the official announcement by Triple H, as well as by English wrestling legend Johnny Saint, probably biggest name you could have in English wrestling. The announcement of the NXT UK brand, the UK division. It's official. The United Kingdom brand is coming to NXT.
Took them a year.
Well, originally they announced it as the WWE UK brand, but now
there was talks that they were trying to get their NXT out there too.
Exactly. So now it's an NXT UK brand, which is good, which means Triple H is heading it. He's always had he's always had the wrestlers and the fans in mind when it comes to the NXT brand, and I have no doubt the UK brand is going to be just as great. I mean, that's talked about including a UK Women's Champion, UK Tag Team Champions, which you already have kind of the basis for with Mustache Mountain as the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Which means they could go between UK and America.
Exactly. So it will be fun to see. I can't wait.
Yeah. We're talking about NXT and Triple H holding firm with all that stuff and making sure our fans get what they want. Time for a downer, because they don't get to stay in NXT forever.
Eventually, yes, they have to.
They have to go up to the main brand,
graduate up to the main roster,
where Vince and the main brand creative get to decide what to do with them. And what has that been dealing with them lately?
Yes, what's been the success rate?
So, Raw after Mania, we got Authors of Pain coming up. We had Sanity announced, Andrade Cien Almas announced, and Ember Moon came up. And what have they really done?
Well, I mean, while Ember's
probably been the best out of all of them.
Well, Ember has been she's already integrated herself into the Raw Women's roster.
Agreed.
Okay. But the problem, and she's already netted a couple of wins over former Raw Women's
Ember
champion,
by far has had the best debut out of all the ones.
She's had the best success rate.
Yes.
But however, you look at Authors of Pain, okay, who, yes, they won their debut match against Slater and Rhino, have done little to nothing since then, maybe making one couple appearances on WWE Main Event.
Yep.
Other than that, they've done nothing. They've only recently popped up last week, and that was just to steamroll a bunch of jobber teams before being warded off by Titus Worldwide.
And then he had Sanity, who was announced to come up and then took forever and
laid out the Usos in their debut, which was a fine debut, which was fine. But then they had a 6-man tag team match with the Usos and Jeff Hardy.
Their first ever match as their team
on the main roster, and
lost clean.
There you go, clean as a whistle. I mean, So you lose.
I mean, you also hear about the fact that the teams were originally called up because they were planning to do the tag team Money in the Bank match, which then got scrapped, which means they were now up here with no direction. So they literally just act as if they weren't there for a while.
Pretty much. And
then Andrade Cien Almas, the man that got, one of the best matches in NXT.
alongside Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm. And Johnny Gargano is still in NXT because he has his matches with Tommaso Ciampa to get through. But Andrade now is again directionless.
Let's go down the line since his debut. Debuted, no match, jobber, no match.
Whatever happened to that match with Sin Cara? We never saw it.
Never saw it. And for the last 2 months, he's had all of 2 matches against local enhancement talent. That's been it. They have no direction for him. I mean, I can understand, like, okay, if you... All right, people are going to say, oh, but they're waiting for the championship picture to open up. Okay, there's United States Championship. You've got virtually a hurt, injured champion in Jeff Hardy. You're telling me you couldn't use a veteran in Jeff Hardy to establish someone like Andrade Almas? You're telling me you couldn't do that? I mean, I thought they were going to do that with Eric Young this past week, having him face Jeff Hardy in open challenge for the United States title.
No,
but that went south. So again, this isn't just an isolated incident. I actually said this a couple of years before. All right, they do this with a good chunk of the NXT talent. They have no idea what to do with them. Mm-hmm. Okay,
it takes them far too long for them to decide what to do. The only team that came out of NXT smelling like roses and kept their momentum since day one of their debut was the Shield.
That's it. I mean, that's it. Okay. The Ascension, jobbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Authors of Pain. We barely see them. Okay,
American Alpha
broken up. Basically split up as soon as their first tag team title reign was over.
Enzo and Cass.
Okay,
they never got a full push.
They never even got a push to the tag team titles, and maybe once or twice, and got split up, and both ended up getting released for individual reasons. Vaudevillains. Okay,
Gotch is gone. Aiden English is only doing well because he's with Rusev.
And English has a sidekick role to Rusev.
Mm-hmm. Revival.
Okay, only got a fluke win over 2 guys in Reigns and Lashley who self-admittedly cannot get along for the life of them. You would think a veteran team like the Revival would be able to pick these guys apart, and yet they can only get a win through a fluke roll-up.
Tag team,
which isn't even going to mean, it's not going to mean butt kiss in the long run.
Mm-hmm. The only teams that seem to survive are the ones that have been there for years,
right?
Or
that have earned their keep.
Yeah, earned their keep, or guys that they've brought in from outside that didn't even go to NXT.
Right. So basically, you look at a lot of the homegrown. So basically, and you look at a lot of these. And you'd say, oh, but a lot of these are homegrown talents. Not all of them are homegrown talents. You look at Apollo Crews, Uhaa Nation, big indie name before coming up. And what is he? Okay, he's in a 2-bit tag team with Titus O'Neil. He's not doing anything else.
I mean, if you really think about it, Keith Lee just joined NXT. What's going to happen to him when he comes to the main roster?
Okay, there have been rumors about Walter being signed to
NXT. That'd be amazing. But you know what? He doesn't have the look that they're going to want. No. So once he leaves NXT, there's going to be nothing for him.
No, there's not. So
it's just an issue that's going to keep happening. The only ones that I can see coming out smelling like roses out of the current cream is going to be Ricochet, Adam Cole, maybe Undisputed Era if they come up with him, and Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. That's it. That's all I can see. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Those are the main brand guys.
But if Vince doesn't see potential in them, if he doesn't see big money potential in them, okay, he's already making money despite the mistakes he's making. So he's not going to care whether or not these guys have the potential to make more money because he's already making more money. So he could basically they're like his playthings. He can just, they're no more human than this guy to Vince. He can do and say basically whatever he wants with them, and all they can do is just stay there because hey, it's a steady contract. It's a steady contract. Why not? Hey, it's a steady pay. It's a steady payday. I put food on my table. End of the day, I'm at the top of the business.
The best example I can give is Mike Kanellis. Where's he been? Nowhere. I know he's been dealing with stuff, but you know what? I'm pretty sure he's back now, and you don't see him at all.
No.
And he's perfectly fine with that because he gets paid.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. I'm glad. Okay. Good. You're getting paid. I mean. Yeah. How's that airtime working for you? How's actually being in the ring working out for you? Yeah. Didn't think so.
Yeah. All right. We were having a good high. Let's get off the downers and let's get into our showcase.
Yeah. Let's get into our Extreme Rules showcase.
So, part 1, memorable Extreme matches.
And there've been so many throughout the years. So many stipulations, so many promotions, so many matches, all with a different definition of what extreme truly is.
Yeah, you could go tables, ladders, and chairs, hardcore, first blood, cage match, unsanctioned.
You had the original ECW with their barbed wire and thumbtacks and flaming tables. Oh my! With WWE, you had of course you had your hardcore division, but like you said, you had the tables, ladders, and chairs. You had the Hell in the Cell, the Elimination Chamber. You had the individual matches, the ladder matches, the tables matches, even the chairs matches.
Stairs matches.
Don't remind me. All right. You had the I Quit matches, the First Blood matches, even the rarely seen 3 stages of Hell match. Very rarely seen. Until now. Because my first pick for one of my favorite extreme matches is from No Way Out 2001. The first ever WWE 3 stages of Hell match featuring Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you, Julie. Now, provide a little backstory for everyone. All right, back in Survivor Series 1999, Stone Cold had just arrived at the arena, getting ready for his match. Suddenly, he gets run down by a Jeep, a truck that drives off in the distance. It's a hit and run. We don't know who it is. About a year and a half later, it ends up being revealed that, surprise, surprise, Triple H masterminded the whole thing to have Austin taken out of commission. Austin is looking for revenge, wants Triple H in the worst possible way. However, at the contract signing, it was stated that if Austin laid a hand on Triple H, he would lose his WWE Championship opportunity against The Rock at WrestleMania 17, and if Triple H laid a hand on Austin, he'd be suspended for 6 months. Kind of ironic considering what happened to him a few months later. But anyway, 3 stages of Hell match. Basically, the way this goes down is that it's not just one match, it's 3 matches in one. Potentially.
It's 2 out of 3.
It's 2 out of 3 falls.
Which means you knew that was going to be 3 because you want to see all of them.
Yeah, each match a different stipulation. The first match was a simple one-on-one singles match, which Stone Cold ended up winning with a Stone Cold Stunner. But then we get into the nitty gritty. We get to the second fall, which was it was a no disqualification street fight. So basically, these two just beat each other pillar to post, steel chairs, barbed wire bats, sledgehammer shots. One of which Triple H used, followed by a pedigree to pick up the second fall, and then the steel cage lowers. A steel cage match for the third and final fall. And this, just look right here. Look at the picture right here. Julie, can you black us out for a sec?
Block us away.
All right. Just
show the picture.
Show the picture. Block us out for a second. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That right there shows you how gruesome this was. Just the two going each other tooth and nail, doing everything they could to debilitate each other, to destroy one another. And even the finish was extreme in nature, as Triple H and Stone Cold was coming in with a barbed wire 2x4. Triple H was coming in with a sledgehammer shot. Both hit each other at the same time, knock each other out. Triple H though falls right on top of a bloody Stone Cold. 1, 2, 3. Triple H gets the climactic win in what I thought was one of my favorite extreme matches.
All right, so let's go from one set of top WWE guys to another set of top WWE guys, because my first match is actually an I Quit match between Mankind and The Rock. Now, this is a match that anyone who has followed... next one.
I Quit, Matt. Rock and Mankind.
One more.
Rock and Mankind.
There it is.
There you go.
So this was during Rock's heel run, as he's part of the corporation, and Mankind is now the babyface with the championship, and this was a bloody affair. And the one thing that Mick Foley, Mankind, was known as at the time is a chair shot will not put him down. He will not be forced to say, I quit. So The Rock and Mankind have a gruesome match, which eventually leads to Mankind handcuffed.
Well, you have to remember the rules in I Quit match. There are virtually no rules.
That's what makes it extreme.
No disqualification, no countouts, no pinfalls, no submissions. Mm-hmm. Literally, the only way you could win over your opponent is to get them to say those two fatal words, I quit.
Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening is Mankind ends up getting handcuffed behind his back, making him utterly defenseless, and The Rock taking a steel chair during the time where they did not have a rule saying no steel shots, no chair shots to the head. So The Rock, who was only supposed to do like 4, because that's already insane, hit, and in total, 11 shots to the head. To Mankind, Mick Foley, who at some point got so mad, got up and started to run at Rock so he would slam the chair even harder. While Mankind, Mick Foley's family, is in attendance, the kids are crying, and eventually, even then, Mick would not say I quit. The Rock cheated and had the announcers, speakers.
Had a recording of a promo
that Mankind did earlier,
saying that he would not say I quit, and basically had him play I quit into the microphone. That was it. And I mean, here's the thing. This was beyond extreme. This was, like you said, this was gruesome. Mm-hmm. It was so
The Rock went overboard. He got he admitted he got into the match. He got into the mood too much.
And Foley said, and I said this, and I'm quoting Foley. Mm-hmm. He never felt like a bad father until this match.
Yeah.
He never felt like anything that his kids had to watch involving him was bad up until this moment. And I can't blame him. Yeah. I can't blame him in the slightest.
Yeah.
It was extreme. It was brutal. I mean, Foley didn't realize that, okay.
His skull was showing.
His skull was showing.
After the match, everyone, Vince, Stone Cold, Triple H, anybody who was around went to Mick to make sure he was okay, except The Rock.
I mean, they apparently told The Rock. Someone apparently had told The Rock that Mick was fine, and that's why The Rock hadn't. Mm-hmm. And The Rock honestly thought that he had gone to check on Mick, realized he hadn't, and felt bad.
Yeah, it's just a horrific ending to the match with an unfortunate miscommunication behind the scenes. And honestly, I'm glad a match like this never happened again. That was just not to that degree.
I mean, you could say
not that in WWF.
You could say that about a lot of Mick Foley matches.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, going back to me, the second match, and I'll say this: all the matches I found were from 2001, because that was surprisingly one of WWE's most hardcore years, despite the unfortunate invasion storyline that took up the second half of 2001. Lest we forget, and believe me, we try.
We never forget.
We try. Oh, they're hugging it out. Hi, Jen.
So your next match is?
The next match is from, of course, my favorite pay-per-view of all time. I mean, a lot of people's favorites. From TLC 2, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2, from WrestleMania 17.
Ooh, that was
so we got
one.
It's the one of the
The one with the guy hanging.
The one with the guy hanging and the guy diving off the ladder.
Okay.
No.
One more over. There it is.
There you go. There you go.
I think Jeff.
I think that's the iconic moment of the match.
Absolutely.
You could not have encapsulated TLC 2 much better than that. So basically, this was, of course, as you can tell by the name, the follow-up to the original tables, ladders, and chairs that originated the year before at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
At SummerSlam, at the time I believe it was called like a triangle ladder match. But then it grew, it blossomed in what became known as TLC. The first one, like I said, SummerSlam 2000. This one culminating at like I said, WrestleMania 17, the Houston Astrodome, 2001, with, of course, Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudley Boys. And this topped the original. This, I think, was probably the best. I think the best TLC match of all time.
Oh, hands down.
I think so. Just like, I mean,
it was literally a spot fest.
It was,
but the fact that it was so innovative that people had never seen before, which made every single move that much harder.
I mean, you had Jeff Hardy trying to tightrope walk across ladders. You had him diving off on a swanton, trying to take out Bubba Ray in a callback to the previous TLC match. I mean, you had a number of their associates getting involved. You had Lita getting involved for the Hardys and getting a 3D for her efforts. Mm-hmm. You had little Spike Dudley hitting a Dudley Dog on Christian through a ringside table. You had Rhino goring Matt Hardy through 2 tables and ultimately knocking him and Devon off so Edge could grab the tag team titles. I mean, this had everything. Like, every conceivable spot you could think of in a TLC match, they pretty much pulled off. And I mean, I watched it. I watched this match to this day. I always watch it every chance I can get. Like, it's that good a match. What more can I say about it? It's TLC. It's tables, ladders, and chairs, man.
This was your this match itself was your defense for when we were doing pay-per-view versus Mania for Money in the Bank.
This is the big one. This is my Exhibit A.
Yep.
I mean, what more can you say?
All right. So mine, I didn't stick to one time frame. Instead, first I went to WWE Monday Night Raw. Then I went to ECW, and I went to one. Yeah. I thought about this. At first, I was thinking maybe I'd take his TNA, his Impact match against Abyss in 2005, and similar show. But no, we chose
chose who?
Sabu. The homicidal, suicidal, genocidal.
Sabu.
And it's Sabu versus Terry Funk in a barbed wire.
That right there just basically tells you.
Look at that right there.
This was not going to be.
Where are the ropes?
This is not. That's just it. The barbed wire was the ropes.
So, looking at this match did not last. This match lasted like 10 and a half minutes. But every single throw, every single push into barbed wire, and halfway through this match, and this is why I chose this one over the other one. Somehow, Sabu, when tossed into the barbed wire, tore his arm open.
Tore his bicep open.
He tore his bicep open. You could see in it.
And instead of calling for the medics, he took a roll of masking tape. Masking tape, mind you, like for sealing pipes. Not meant for like human use. Took a roll of masking tape, bound it around his arm, and finished the match.
Not only that, during it, Terry Funk, with 2 barbed wire chairs placed, grabbed Sabu, who was in mid-rolling, and gave him a hangman neckbreaker through the 2 chairs. And Sabu still could not finish rolling up the tape while selling. Sabu is insane. Terry Funk is insane, as proof of his matches with Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, outside of WWE. And Sabu, to this day, still does insane stunts. But this is by far one of the craziest things he's ever done.
I mean, let's put it this way. Paul Heyman the originator, the mad genius behind Extreme Championship Wrestling, said that this match was too extreme even for him. If the Extreme Booker himself thought this match was too much, even for his consumption, I mean, for us, what does that say about us?
We're bloodthirsty.
You're telling me. Now, yeah, I mean,
we got to move on from that. The more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Admittedly, a couple of my examples have been relatively tame in terms of just the overall amount of wanton violence. I mean, yes, you have the destruction, but okay, but Ken, but where's the blood? Where's the bloodshed? Where's the gruesome factor?
I know what your last one is. It's here. It's here in spades.
It's here in spades. Now, originally, I was gonna go with the three, like the Wars Hell match with Dante Fox and Killshot from Lucha Underground, because that was beyond. I can't even describe it, but I felt like that'd be a little too much. Yeah. I felt like that'd be going too far. But I found one though in WWE from 2001. I know, running gag, right? That I think, I mean, it's right up there. I'm talking about the street fight with your Olympic hero Kurt Angle and the then owner of WCW, Shane McMahon, going at tete-a-tete in a street fight.
Julie?
Street fight.
Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon.
Street fight. It's the one with someone swinging a kendo stick. No.
Nope.
It's there. I know I uploaded it. No. It's not there. Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. There it is. Kendo stick. There we go. All right. So this is probably the most tame image out of the bunch I could find, because basically everyone involved, Shane looking like he had been launched out of a car.
This is earlier on in the match, I'm pretty sure.
This was early on in the match. So basically, let me lay down the story for you, okay? So basically, Shane had just been coming out looking to make a name for himself and to promote WCW, had been calling out Kurt Angle instead of being an Olympic hero, being an Olympic, wussy, which really didn't sit well with the Olympic gold medalist and former WWE champion. So the two had a war of words and, of course, a war of fists. Now, of course, Kurt was involved in the King of the Ring tournament, looking to repeat his victory from 2000 when he went the distance and won the whole thing. Now, what Shane did was actually very crafty. He helped Kurt win his first. He ended up getting involved, helping Kurt win his first semifinal match against Christian, only to come out and cost him his victory against Edge in the King of the Ring finals. So that way, Kurt had to wrestle two matches and would have to have his street fight later in the night against Shane, already well softened up from his first two. So good move by Shane. But this was just, it was everything. I mean, you had kendo sticks, you had trash can lids. I mean, the fight went in the ring, went out the ring. They fought all over the arena until they came to the King of the Ring set, where supposedly they had the plate glass windows, King of the Ring windows. Now, originally, Kurt was going to suplex Shane through it. It was supposed to be like sugar glass. It's sugar glass. It would shatter in a million pieces. And of course, Shane would be cut up, but at least
This is not the first time sugar glass has not been switched out for.
But it ended up being, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it ended up being like plexiglass.
Yeah, even harder to break.
Basically, when Shane got suplexed through it, he hit it with a smack, fell, and landed right on the back of his neck onto concrete, mind you. There was no padding. It was concrete. It was concrete floor underneath the stage setting. And then Kurt launched it, and then Shane tells Kurt, launch me through a second time. Launches him through, glass breaks. Now, of course, they were going to do another suplex spot through another one. Same problem, though. Glass doesn't break the first time. Shane falls right on the back of his neck again. and Kurt, instead of deciding to suplex him, just picks him up, throws him right through. And then the match ends when both are standing on top rope. Shane looked like he was about to come off of a coast to coast. Kurt runs up there, hits a top rope angle slam, gets the 1, 2, 3 on a bloody, beaten Shane McMahon.
Shane was this close to death.
Basically.
Or paralysis.
And when he got back there, Vince told him it was a great match, but told him never do something like that. When you have someone as bloodthirsty as Vince McMahon telling you never pull something like that again, he means it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that shows you how far they went just to get across the crowd.
You know, Shane McMahon was never seen as someone coasting on nepotism after this.
Well, no, I mean,
That's the one thing.
There was even one time where he won the Rookie of the Year award for Pro Wrestling Illustrated,
yeah,
and turned it down because, you know what, that's not for me. That's for the boys, for the guys who actually put it in the work.
This is why Shane is the most beloved out of all of the McMahons.
Very true.
Always been.
All right, but anyway, just like I think it was a match that went just from extreme to just completely out there. Mm-hmm. Just because of what Shane asked from Kurt.
Absolutely. All right, so considering, first off, you said you had a match you wish you had added, but we limited to 3. Same with me. I would have added Stone Cold versus The Undertaker First Blood match, as that was one of my first pay-per-view extreme matches I've ever seen. And since I just started watching, I was saying that is unfair to Austin. Austin cannot win. Undertaker is dead. He has no blood to draw. So, you know, he's got that's like, when you were a kid, you know?
Yeah, he's got like dust, like you cut him open and be like...
That's not blood, it's black. And of course, X-Pac to help with the win. But instead, where you went from your tamest in terms of it to the most gruesome, I went from gruesome to actually a modern one. This actually just happened. This is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a Chicago street fight.
Wow. I mean, what can I say about this what can we say about this that, you know, reviewers haven't already said?
Yeah. Julie, Johnny versus Tommaso, it should be the second one for me.
Yep. Dan's Extremes picks 2.
One more. There it is.
There it is.
So, first off, Johnny Gargano coming to the ring dressed like Captain America. That was awesome.
And Tommaso coming to the ring dressed like...
Army.
No, actually, he was dressed like Infinite Thanos.
Oh, Thanos.
Yeah, he had a Thanos shirt.
Yeah, he did.
That was
and
genius.
It said, Ciampa takes over Chicago.
Yeah, that was genius.
All right, so let's set the stage. Johnny and Tommaso were part of one of the best tag teams in NXT called DIY, Do It Yourself.
Jinx.
No. So, and, you know, they won the belts from the Revival. Then they lost it to Authors of Pain. Then Ciampa turned on Johnny.
Well, because the thing was that when Ciampa was scheduled to be out with injury, basically fans started fantasizing, okay, who's going to team up with Johnny now? Okay, who's going to team up with Johnny in the interim while Ciampa's out? And Tommaso feared about getting replaced. He didn't like the idea of someone filling in for him and becoming Johnny's new friend. So he thought, if I can't compete, then Johnny can't compete.
Exactly.
If I can't be Johnny's friend, then no one can be Johnny's friend. So of course, the logical jump from there is beating the absolute crap out of Johnny Gargano.
And you know, and after that, you know, Ciampa was gone for a while. You know, he had the surgery. And
then Johnny, basically, he was like a war veteran. Basically, anytime he saw or was given something that reminded him of DIY, he blanked out. It would cost him matches. It would consume him. And he tried to move on best he can, even working his way into a championship opportunity against then NXT champion, Andrade Cien Almas.
With a Dave Meltzer 5-star match, the first one since CM Punk and John Cena in Money in the Bank 2011.
And then...
And he lost clean, but people gave him a standing ovation. His wife was with him. Everything was great.
And then he felt...
And then Ciampa came out of nowhere.
Yes, with a crutch. But then again, Johnny just tried moving on. He tried forgetting about Ciampa. Said, okay, if I can't win the NXT Championship, I don't deserve to be here in NXT. Challenge Andrade to one last match with the NXT title on the line, as well as Gargano's NXT career.
And once again,
comes within an eyelash of winning the championship, only for Gargano, Ciampa to rear his ugly head, lay him out with a crutch, and cost him not only the victory and the title, but his career. So what happens? Okay, Gargano stalks Ciampa. Basically, he stalks him. He haunts him at the performance center,
at his house,
everywhere Ciampa.
Ciampa's recording, asking Regal for help because you could hear Gargano outside his house calling him out over and over again throughout the night. Ciampa couldn't even get sleep.
So basically, it came to a head where Regal announced the first match, an unsanctioned match between Ciampa and Gargano, where if Gargano won, he would regain his performer status in NXT. If he lost, though, he was gone for good. No more second chances.
Yes. And while there were some times where he hesitated, in the end, he still managed to pull out a win with a Gargano escape with the neck brace.
Right. With the neck
across Ciampa's face for the win.
Right. So then he tried to parlay that into an NXT title opportunity against the new NXT champion, Aleister Black. Aleister accepted. It seemed like we were getting geared up for a fantastic match between two of the top faces in NXT.
Ciampa, ever the spoiler.
Ciampa came out late.
It's literally anytime Gargano wanted to do something, Ciampa was in the way. And then when Ciampa thought he was good, Gargano would stalk him until it was too much for him.
So basically, it was two former friends who absolutely despised each other, who wanted to destroy each other. Basically, you could almost say it was Owens versus Zayn.
Or Jarrett,
except it was taken up a notch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you get the Jericho and Shawn Michaels route. The wife got involved.
Oh, not good.
Ciampa pushed Gargano. Gargano fell into Candice LeRae. Right, and
Gargano's wife.
Yes. And then Ciampa's just walking away smiling and all happy about it.
And then basically NXT Chicago 2 comes along, street fight in order, and instead of trying to discourage Gargano from fighting, Candice hands him a crutch and tells him just to go out there and beat the holy living hell out of Ciampa, because even she's at her
boy, end. This match was like a 45-minute.
This match actually trumped. Because here's the thing: the one little criticism was that the first match went too long. Mm-hmm. They cut like about 10, 15 minutes. The street fight was perfect. It had fantastic storytelling, brutal moments, lots of great false finishes, and a moment where it seemed like that Gargano had gotten his revenge, laying out Ciampa with an air raid crash through the announce table, much like what Ciampa did to him a year ago to cause the breakup between them,
and that was
in Chicago.
And that was right after, honestly, my favorite part of this entire match, where Ciampa took off Gargano's wedding ring and spat on it and then threw it away. And then after that, when Ciampa was getting carted away, saying, I'm in too much pain, this match has to stop, Gargano staring at his hand at the
spot where his wedding ring should be.
And he's staring at it for ages.
And then you realize, and he said, screw this. Okay, he's not content. Goes and grabs Ciampa, fighting off
everybody,
officials, medical personnel, brings him back, where the ring's been torn apart.
Yeah, Ciampa found bolt cutters, and he actually snipped off the mat for the ring, and when he did that, he pulled off the mat. Then he pulled off the padding,
and he was going to use hit an air raid crash, a top rope maneuver on Gargano onto the bare wooden part of the canvas, which is insane.
So this is already set up. So Chekhov's gun, that's going to get used.
Right.
So Gargano brings Ciampa back in the ring,
and what does he do?
He handcuffs him.
So that Ciampa is completely defenseless. Hits super kick after super kick. After super kick, after super kick, after super kick, after super kick, and even when the officials try to get in there and ward him off, Gargano super kicks them.
He puts them into the Gargano escape while he's handcuffed. And there's no ref to count it, of course.
And Ciampa was screaming, "I quit! I quit!" And the ref wasn't there. All right, and then when it seems like
and then when
the officials pulled him out and were trying to get Gargano
to
says
leave,
no, he gets up, goes back to get in the ring.
The moment he's getting in the ropes,
Ciampa hooks him with one of his handcuffed arms, DDTs him onto the bare wooden part of the ring,
falls on Gargano, and while the ref's going, what should I do? Ciampa's just yelling, "Count!" 1, 2, 3.
So Ciampa literally beat Gargano with his hands tied behind his back.
That is actually beautiful. And the best part is, Ciampa has no ring music. So the moment he won, it was dead silence.
Perfect. Now I know there's some critics. I know there's some critics who say, "Oh, well, this match still went too long. There was too much lull." Okay, here's the thing: you have to recognize a match not just for its content, not just for its hard-hitting action, but for its storytelling.
This probably has, out of all the matches we've talked about, this probably has the best storytelling, in my opinion.
It has the best. It's the most filled-out match. It had everything. It had hard-hitting action. It had hardcore moments. It had extreme moments. It had brutal, gruesome moments. But it also had the storytelling. You saw the expressions. You saw the ring psychology, the chemistry between the two.
Austin versus Triple H. It started with Austin getting run over, but when the match started, it was just a match. Sure, they could hate each other, but there was no story in the match.
They tore into each other.
Yeah,
obviously.
Rock and Mankind. Mankind was the company's guy, and then it was The Rock, and then they two hated each other. And how would they make him say I quit? Sure, there was a story, but the story was never a part of the match in the match. The ring, when he threw the ring, when the announcers were yelling, "That's enough," when the officials are trying to yell, "That's enough," and Ciampa's yelling, "It's not enough. You don't know him. It's not enough." When he's saying, "You did this to yourself." This is storytelling in match, which is unparalleled, and you do not see this often.
I mean, the only other wrestler I've seen like Ciampa who could even measure up in terms of storytelling, in terms of how he gets across his opponents, how he gets himself across, is The Miz. That's just not obviously not in terms of ring quality. Because I mean, Miz is slowly but surely getting there to being a all-around great in terms of like being in the ring. But in terms of storytelling, in terms of what he does on the mic, in terms of what he does with his actions, I mean,
in terms of being an all-around,
you think of two names: Miz and Gargano.
Ciampa.
I mean, sorry, Ciampa. Well, I mean,
I would honestly put Kevin Owens up there too when he has his matches with Sammy, because why are you making me do this to you? Yeah. It's a very rare trait. And honestly, I was talking about how I'm scared for NXT guys getting called up. I can't wait for Ciampa to go up.
I don't want Ciampa to go up. I don't want Gargano to go up.
If they could keep their quality, this is my caveat. If they could find a way to keep their quality when they bring them up, that's how I want to see it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn when they're having their blood feud.
Yeah, but now, okay, look at Owens now.
Yes, I know. He loves Shania. That's an up. He was on stage with Shania Twain, all right? He had a great... But here's a down. Shania refused to sing his favorite song until he beats Braun Strowman, and that is just too big a thing for him to...
That's too much.
She made Kevin Owens insult her, kind of. He ended up telling her he had more Twitter followers than her.
Ooh.
Shania, I lost a lot of respect for you when you wouldn't refuse to sing Kevin Owens' favorite song.
How dare you?
So that was part one.
that was part one of our Extreme Rules showcase.
Yeah.
All right. So next week we won't be talking about extreme matches, but extreme moments. Not memorable. Extreme memorable moments.
Things that have lasted.
To have stood the test of time. Not necessarily, just necessarily hardcore moments, but extreme moments that caused a radical shift in the way we look at pro wrestling.
This is gonna be an interesting one.
It's gonna be good. I'm looking for. I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm
same
pumped.
here.
All right. So, but in the meantime, we have to sign off on this extremely hot and humid and sunny episode of the Wrestling Connection. Extreme
Heat.
Of the Wrestling Connection. Like I said, be sure to check out our YouTube channel on the Wrestling Connection on YouTube. Check us out on our Twitter handle at WConnection. Check out our website, thewrestlingconnection.com. For all features of the Wrestling Connection, including the latest episodes. For of course, Dan Kaufman, for Julie Manugian, for everyone at Bedford TV and the Wrestling Connection, I am your connection, Ken Hill, reminding you, as always, to be safe, be connected,
get connected, stay connected.
Play us out, Kermit. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's some things that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the Wrestling Connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 dee.